Okay, for 3.02, we're going to talk about promotional channels to communicate. I'm going to try and go through this. Advertising media is just channels of communication between you and your consumers. And there's all these different types that we're going to go through. I'm not going to read them to you. You can read those. The first type is print media. Newspapers, magazines, and journals that are printed on a regular basis. So let's talk about newspaper ads. They're often published daily or weekly. Their size is that's how much you're going to pay, is how big they are. So the Wall Street Journal is a nationwide newspaper, whereas the Pilot Mountain newspaper is local. So one is going to be more expensive than the other, and they cover geographic areas. So you're going to pay more for the larger areas versus the smaller areas. And then who they are intended to target. So the Wall Street Journal is basically for business people. So the advantages, they do reach a large audience. They're low cost and quick and easy to produce. Anybody can place an ad. So a lot of businesses use the newspaper. A variety of advertisement size and pricing, reaches customers daily, and target a specific geographic market. That's the biggest advantage right there, is that you're hitting your local people. The limitations, wasted circulation, short lifespan. I know my grandfather gets a newspaper. He reads it by lunch. It's in a recycle bin by lunch, and nobody else sees it. It's just discarded. And it has poor color and print quality. So it's not usually in color, except maybe one day a week. Categories of magazines, we have consumer magazines, and then we have business magazines. Consumer magazines are for personal enjoyment. They're very specific. So like People magazine is all about celebrities and entertainment, whereas Sports Illustrated is all about sports. There's also magazines out there for specific types of sports that are, where Sports Illustrated covers a lot. Business magazines like Business Week, or Fortune Weekly, or The Entrepreneur, they are specifically for business people that are interested in knowing about the stock market or things of that nature. The advantages are, with magazines, you got a wider circulation. So people don't throw magazines away. They keep them. A lot of magazines, kids will tear out pictures and hang them on the wall or whatever, and you go to a doctor's office, there's magazines laying everywhere, and who knows how many people's read them. They're high quality and good color. Their target can be based on demographics rather than geographic, like newspapers, like the Sports Illustrated for kids. There's specific a demographic and age group, or it can be psychographic, like Golf Digest, where that's what they're interested in. That's what the whole magazine is about. The biggest disadvantages: it takes a lot of professional preparation, lengthy preparation times, and it's very expensive. TV. So let's talk about TV. You've got network TV, which is your big TV stations, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. They reaches a very broad audience. It's extremely expensive. Okay? Then you've got your cable or satellite TV stations. They target a more specific audience. So let's say Nickelodeon. You may see commercials on Nickelodeon, but it's going to be for toys or cereal or things like that, because who's watching Nickelodeon? Kids. So it's different than putting an ad on ABC or CBS, because you're hitting a specific audience in that. Just like if it was ESPN, they're not going to show cereal ads on ESPN, I don't think. And the cable or satellite channels are less expensive than the network. Your local channels, that's like Channel 12. So on Channel 12, I have seen local commercials for Kevin Powell's Foothill Ford, other local businesses. 1-800-YOU-PULL-IT is one that comes to mind. It's a local, and you see it all the time on Channel 12. That's relatively inexpensive, and it does get a good audience. Then you have the channels that are made to sell. These are like QVC, and there's other channels, and all they do is sell things 24/7. in 30-minute infomercials. They are more expensive, and I don't know, unless you were selling something like vacuum cleaners or whatever, that you would use that. Radio is effective and affordable. It targets a very specific group of consumers, and the advantage is you have the experience. Oh, let me back up. The advantages of television, let's talk about television first. The experience of color, sound, and action makes it believable and easy to remember. So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think about the sound a soda makes when you pop a can of soda. That click and swoosh sound. I can go for weeks without a Dr. Pepper, but if I hear that sound on TV, I'm craving one. It's very, very influential and the best-selling type of ad media. The disadvantages, of course, it's high cost, and the message has a shortened lifespan. Once you've seen it, you tend to kind of, oh, well, I've seen that, and don't pay attention to it, and it can cost you lengthy production time. Now let's look at the advantages to radio. If people listen to the radio, you listen in your cars, at home, at work, it's low cost. A lot of people do these themselves, so it's short preparation time. You can target a specific geographic area locally. You can target specific demographic markets. So, like, if you want to put an ad on a Spanish-speaking radio station, you can have your ad done in Spanish and have it on both the English and Spanish-speaking stations. And you can target specific psychographic markets by what people like, whether it's a sports radio station, a country station, a top 40, a rap station. And so you can really manipulate radio advertising to fit what you need to reach. The disadvantage, you don't have a visual. You can't see it. And it has a short lifespan. Commercial clutter. A lot of people, as soon as commercials start, they switch to another radio station. And they'll flip through. And then you have the iPods, iPads, ebooks, cell phones. Who's listening to radio anymore? I think it's generational. So I don't know if you guys listen to radio, but I do think it's a generational thing that we will start seeing people use more of these devices versus radio. Let's talk about direct mail. It's distributed through either printed mail that you send or electronic mail, email. Direct mail has some advantages. It's not really wasted circulation. It can be very cost effective. The target market can be segmented to be customer specific, and it can be personally addressed to the customer. And the results are easy to measure. How many people got back in touch with you because of something you sent out? Now, the disadvantages, it can be considered junk mail. I'm going to be honest and tell you, when I get something, like I went and got in the mail earlier, and there was something in there for DirecTV. I don't use DirecTV, so I knew what it was. They were trying to get me to go back to DirecTV. I just threw it in the trash. I don't mess with junk mail. So that's one disadvantage, is a lot of people don't look at it if they think it's junk mail. And then the increasing cost of postage each year. Now, our fastest growing advertising is on the web. It can target a very specific audience, and it tracks how users respond, who responds to ads. So if somebody sees an advertisement somewhere on the web, anywhere, and they click on it, and it takes them to the website of the business who had the ad, well, that is tracked, and people pay for the tags. So if I click on a advertisement for jeans, that advertisement has specific tags, and it links to my computer what tags I've clicked on. So when I go to Facebook the next time and I'm perusing, one of the advertisements that's going to pop up is for those jeans, because Facebook, that's how they make their money. These advertisers buy the tags, and if people, the ads I see on Facebook aren't going to be the same as the ads my daughter sees on Facebook. If she had a Facebook, she doesn't. but it would be different because of what our interests are on the internet. It can build brand awareness. It extends the advertising to reach beyond the local market. So to be able to advertise online, you've got to have a website, contact information, how to learn about the business, locations, and how to place orders. Then we have types of out-of-home media. This is any message that reaches a customer outside of their house, not in their house. So posters, transit posters, indoor billboards, human directionals. Human directionals are like those people that stand out on the side of the road, maybe like the Statue of Liberty, about, for some company, some tax company, and you see people standing out with signs on, they're trying to get you to go into a specific business. That's human directionals. Advantages is repetitive. They don't change billboards very often. So I'm going to see the same billboards on the way to work every day when I get out of this quarantine, whatever. So it's repetitive viewing. And it's targeted to a specific geographic area, and it's 24/7 exposure. Disadvantages is a short-lived message. You can't put a lot of information on a billboard. People going down 77 are doing 70 miles an hour. They don't have time to read a billboard. So it's due to low exposure time that you can only have usually it's just your name, okay? Just your name. So it's also very limited. It can't segment the market like other means of advertising can. Then we have special advertising, maybe pins that you can hand out or logos. I know I used to buy pins every year for my students that had my name on it and my classroom, and I don't know why I did that, but a lot of businesses give away pins or baseball caps, pads, free pads with the business name on it, has their name or logo. There's also directory advertising. It informs people how to contact the business with a street address or web address. And then movie theater advertising. I know you've gone to the theater and you see advertisements at the beginning before they actually start the trailers you see a lot of local advertising. Other advertising, product placement. All right, so manufacturers will pay millions for the right to use their brand as movie props. So if I'm not mistaken, there's a new Fast and Furious coming out in June. And I have seen a commercial in correlation with that for, I think, Dodge. I'm not sure. I hope I'm not wrong. So a lot of people will pay for people in a movie to use their product, whether it's Pepsi or a car or whatever. They will pay a lot of money. Telemarketing is another one. It's not a very popular one for those of us that get the calls. DVD and CD-ROM advertising. Short messaging services. This is through text messages, and usually you don't want to send those unless the customer has given you permission. It's called smishing, which is illegal activity that involves posing as a financial institution and sending out fraudulent text messages. A lot of people don't want to get text messages, so if you plan to do that, you have to have your customers' permission to send them ads through text messages. I do get some, like I have a doctor that I get his weekly specials through text message, and I do want to see that, so I signed up for it. But a lot of people, you have to let them sign up for that. And then human billboards, ads placed on the arms and chest. Examples of other media, you see it on grocery store carts or hot air balloons. Then you see the advantages and the disadvantages of that. Social media is the biggest trend. You guys know how that works. Twitter and Facebook, advertising, sports uniforms look at how the NBA uses it, commercials before a YouTube video. Now if you watch a video on Facebook, you have to watch a commercial halfway through it. So this is going to be the largest growing trend in advertising is social media. Okay, so I hope this has helped you understand it. I'm losing my voice, so I'm going to have to stop now. If you have any questions, hit that open discussion box on the distance learning page, and I'll be glad to answer them.